built by designer for designer. Today, he will talk about the role play and innovation in a working practice and what happens when you let those experiments influence work for actual paying clients. Please welcome to the stage Tony Brook.
Okay, so anybody here play cricket? No, not so many. I was one up there. Good man. Anybody who wants to find out more about cricket later, come and ask me. But the reason that we're called Spin is because I love cricket, and you've got to try and find a name that you're not too embarrassed to say when you answer the phone. So, anybody who wants to know the rules of cricket, come and contact me later. So, what I want to talk about today is, actually, here's an interesting way of looking at this. In 1976, there was a concert in Manchester, in the north of England, where the Sex Pistols played a concert. The Sex Pistols are a punk band from England, and they say that everybody in that audience started a band, having seen the Sex Pistols. They were inspired by them. And I'd like to think that after this event, that all of you are going to start your own studios in Vietnam and create a whole new visual culture. And with that in mind, this talk has been structured to give you some inspiration in forming your studio. So they're kind of personal stories from my past. So to say, you've got to call your studio something. Thank you, Renee. The wonderful thing about creating your own studio is that you can do what you want in it. It's your world. You can make it whatever you want. You've just got to be happy making work there. We have a studio in our house in South London, in Wandsworth, and we have a garden in our house, and in back garden, and we grow herbs and vegetables in it, and we cook for each other. Every Thursday we have we call Friday, which is we cook breakfast for each other. We take turns at it, and every Friday we take turns at cooking again. And this kind of social activity really brings us together, and it gives us a chance to talk and connect. So what I want to do is I want to talk a little bit about how we approach things, our personal thing. Every studio is different. Every studio has got its own little unique sort of fingerprint. So this is how we approach things. Experimentation is very important to us. The thing is that experimentation doesn't happen on its own. The famous American painter Chuck Close said that inspiration is for amateurs. What we do is on Thursday afternoon, so we have our big breakfast Thursday morning, On Thursday afternoon, we create space and we program in experimentation. And that means we get together, we talk about what we'd like to do, and then we start playing. And what happens is something very strange happens. First of all, you're not under any pressure from a client, so you can do whatever you want. You can follow your own kind of thoughts. And also, there's a weird thing happens with experimentation is that it feeds into projects that you couldn't possibly have foreseen. You get this kind of body of work that's created through experimentation that means that you already have these kind of trials in your mind when you get a commission. So these are just some examples of work that we've made that's not been commissioned. So now I'd like to talk a little bit about process. One thing that happens in the digital world is that everything could change so quickly. On your screen, you can make something smaller, bigger, move it around, change the color in seconds. One thing that I would recommend strongly is that you slow things down a little bit and print things out. Even if it's a motion graphics piece, it doesn't matter. If you start to print it out, put it on the wall, it does two things. It slows down your thinking and gives you a chance to kind of analyze what you've done, but also it encourages other people to connect with what you've done and give their opinion. Now, you're quite within your rights to ignore their opinion, but sometimes people have quite good opinions and they can give you an insight that maybe you hadn't realized. So that's something that I would recommend anybody does is just print things out, stick them on the wall, have it give you a little bit of distance, a little bit of objectivity, and it really helps our process for sure. Now, I'm going to show you some work that we've done for Movie that kind of pulls together the experimental work that we've done and the process that we follow and how that can end up in a real life project. After I've done that, we're going to be asking you to vote. I'm going to be asking you to vote on something, so pay attention is all I'm saying. Don't fall asleep just yet. So who knows Movie? Who knows what Movie is? All right, so good. Well, we did the identity for Movie quite a while ago now, and we've had the kind of privilege of working with them on developing their identity and working on films and things, so we've got a long-standing relationship with them and it continues. Very fortunate. So this is just to show you some of the background of an ident that we created that goes before all the movie films. So we were given this brief, and we had this idea of trying to tell the story of cinema in a kind of very abstract and meaningful way. So what we did was we had a camera equipment, we made some videos, projected them, some animations, and we filmed them on objects that we made. So these are just some of the sketches in the background of what we made, and then I'll share the final. So paper and projections. So the next thing I'm going to show you is the final piece. You might spot a slinky in there. You know what a slinky is? The metal thing. So we were just playing around using it, experimenting to make this piece. the film I'm going to show you was shot on my iPhone at an outdoor film festival in Switzerland, and I just want you to really concentrate on it because I'm really proud of the fact that I managed to keep the phone so still as I was filming this. So yeah, that was all made in our back garden, in the shed in our back garden. Kind of a punk attitude. Now, what I'm going to share with you next are some campaign film posters and trailers for movie that we've done. Now, quite often what we do is we make bespoke typography and try to respond to each film individually. So you get a sense that we're looking at, it's not a, it's a more of an emotional response to each film, I suppose. Quite often they involve animation as well as bespoke typography. If any of you get a chance to get to see this film, it's absolutely gorgeous, but I've got a trailer, I'll give you a little bit of a taste.
How'd you hurt your arm?
I fell.
Me too. My name is Roy.
You tell me the story now.
What story?
The epic.
Close your eyes. There were 5 of them. They had one common name. Governor Odious.
What a mystery this world. One day you love them, and the next day you would kill them 1,000 times over.
Always stop at the same part when it's very beautiful.
I need the pillows to finish the story.
Another film poster for John Galliano's, the documentary on John Galliano. Very different aesthetic.
My father said it was a gift from God. How I could see music. I thought everyone could see sound.
Across the Rocky Mountain, I walk for miles and miles.
Lionel Worthing, David White.
Across the Rocky Mountain. Don't sing love songs, you'll wake my mother. She's sleeping here right by my side.
If I had what you had, I'd leave. I'd go far away, flee.
In my right hand, a silver dagger. She says that I can't be your bride.
Don't die.
Don't sing love songs.
Put your hand on your throat.
Uh-huh. Feel something?
Like a vibration.
Sound is invisible, but it can be physical. It can touch something, it can make an impression.
I guess I feel like I'm at the end of something.
What was the beginning?
There was a moment when realized I had probably never been as happy as I was when collecting songs. Emotion in song. I want all of it.
She says that I can't be your bride.
The Substance. Anybody here seen The Substance?
Yes.
How are you doing? Needed therapy after that one. Yeah, that was a very interesting process because got a chance to work with the director, and she's slightly crazy in a really fantastic way. And we could really push the boundaries of what we were allowed to do with film promotion in that one. And it was really gratifying that it was so popular and so well received. It was really great.
Oggi nasce il fascismo. Una creatura bellissima, fatta di ideali, di cambiamento, che conquisterà milioni di cuori. Sono sicuro anche i vostri. Seguitelo. Un'epoca è finita. Il mondo come funzionava prima non funziona più. Dobbiamo diventare un vero partito. Questa è l'ultima volta che si fanno le elezioni. La prossima volta voterò io per tutti. C'è sempre un tempo in cui i popoli smarriti van verso le idee semplici.
L'Italia ti ama.
L'amore viene, l'amore va. Gli attimi senza accogliere rifuggono via. Sopravvive per mia gentile concessione, per ora.
So yeah, that's work for movie. Now, next, I want you to just have a kind of a change of mindset. I want you to put yourself in the position of being the client. It's good practice for designers occasionally to have some sympathy with their clients. What I want to do is I want to share with you a presentation that we gave for a film for movie, or a series of films. It's 3 films actually. But what I want you to do is to look at this presentation that we gave to the client. I want you to decide which one you would choose, which route you would choose. So the film is called The Pusher. It's a triptych of films called The Pusher. It's a very brutal film, very realistic, and what we've got is about 6 routes, I think. Normally we wouldn't do so many, but I think for the purpose of this, it just makes it a bit more difficult for you because you've got to decide who the winner is. So that's why I've chosen it. So here we are, Route 1. It's called Tackle Tough Urban. Trying to capture the slightly psychotic nature of the film.
Mẹ ơi, 4 sinh.
So you get a sense, I think, from this about us trying to push what we can do and the experimentation. I talked about it earlier, trying to put that into the work and play with the time. Very aggressive time. Okay, decision time. So, here's a reminder. And Stefan, if you're next door, if you could count all the hands as they go up, that would be great. And I'll try to do it here. So, who's voting for route 1? What about number 2? Oh, they're very, very popular. 3? Oh, okay. 4?
4 and above.
Big hit over here. 5? 1, 2. Not so popular. Route 6? Oh, good turnout. So, did the client get it right? I don't think they did in this case, actually. So, the winner is...
When the winner is number 3 and number 4. Number 3. 3 hay 4? Oh, 4. Wow.
Yeah, you happy with that? Okay. Yeah. Well, they were happy. So as you can see, lots of moving typography, a bespoke typeface, and lots of animation.
Först frågar de mig, så frågar jag dig.
Okay, thank you very much.